That was the end of Mrs. Harris's story. I went at once to see Frankie to see if I could find the one piece of information I still needed.
Hello, Mr. Matthews. Things look any better?
I think so, Frankie.
Gee, I hope so. They can't blame me for it, can they, Mr. Matthews? All I was trying to do was protect myself.
Now, Frankie, I want to make one thing very clear. I don't approve of what you and the other boys did to Paul. Now, tell me everything exactly as it happened the morning of the fight. It's important.
Sure, Mr. Matthews. Well, I was on my way to school, taking a shortcut. He was waiting there for me in the alley.
Hiya, Frankie.
Oh, hiya, Paul. Say, I'm sorry about what happened last night. It was just a gag, a crazy stunt. It didn't mean a thing.
It meant I was yelling, didn't it?
You're taking this too serious, Paul. It was just a joke.
Yeah, a joke. A joke on me, and you pulled it on me.
Hey, you nuts or something? That's not funny.
It wasn't meant to be.
What's the idea, Paul? Hey, listen! I'm sorry about what happened last night.
Are you gonna talk or are you gonna fight?
Look, if I wanted to fight, I'd find me some competition. Listen! You better go home or you can still walk.
I'll go home if you're too yellow to fight.
Okay, it's your funeral. Oh! You had enough? That's exactly the way it happened, Mr. Matthews. Then Gillenard came in and we learned that Paul was dead. That's all there was to it. You do believe me, don't you, Mr. Matthews?
Yes, Frankie, I believe you. And I think there's a witness who will corroborate your story about Paul's attitude that morning.
Who's that?
Paul Harris's mother. Well, that's the story, Mrs. Harris. My client, Frankie, hit your boy with his fists. But I'm sure it wasn't murder.
All I know, Mr. Matthews, is that my son Paul is dead.
And now another boy's life is at stake. You'll be called to testify at his trial.
If you're asking me to testify in favor of the boy who took my son's life, I'm sorry, but I'll have to disappoint you. That boy is guilty of murder.
But is he? After everything you've told me, I can't help but feel that my client acted in self-defense. Thank you for everything, Mrs. Harris. And I'm sure that when you testify tomorrow, you will say what you feel is right. Goodbye. Thank you for everything, Mrs. Harris. And I'm sure that when you testify tomorrow, you will say what you feel is right.
Cannot go, that's all there is to it.
I hate you. I hate you. I'd rather die than be a mama's boy.
I prided myself on being a good mother, on doing everything for my son that I could. But I required too much in return. I denied him the right to live his own life. And because of that, he tried to prove he was a man. That boy sitting at the defense table is not guilty of my son's death. If anyone is guilty, I am.
As a result of Mrs. Harris's testimony and proof that Frankie acted in self-defense, he was completely cleared. We have had numerous cases where lack of parental care contributed to crime. This is one of many where overwhelming attention can destroy a child's identity and lead to violence. The case you have just seen was brought to a fair and just conclusion through the efforts of a public defender.